Well, bingo, bango, bongo! My vibrating little sound wave gardeners. That picture that you just saw, that sunrise picture, was from my recent travels, both physically and mentally. Whew, baby, I was out there. In the desert. Or is it dessert? I don't know. It's one of the two. But it was in the Mojave. And then there's one that's going to be at the end of the show, and that is the sunset. And that was just so cool all the way around the excursion. It was just a mind blower. We had such a great time. You know, gardeners, my shows are like a box of chocolates. You just never know what you're gonna get. Ow! And this one ain't gonna be no differente, because dreams are like messages from the deep. You know, sometimes when I'm wandering through the corridors of morass, that's my brain, I stop and ponder the age-old question. What came first? Plutonium 90 or smash burgers? Oh, I mean, think about that one for a while. And, well, people. Welcome to another marvelous experiment from the laboratory of the Return to the Perfumed Gardens with your off the hook. Hello. No, we're not home. MC himself, Rik Strange, and boy, I'm living up to its name. Woohoo! My name. Whoa, I don't know. So, expect to lose your mind once again for at least maybe the next 20 minutes or more or less, I don't know. So yeah, you know, there was a period of garage band madness, like 65, 66. And I mean, there was a lot of them that are barely getting in the door for me. They get, you know, but there was a bunch of them that were like, whew, so above the realm of what it could be, like the Sonics, the Seeds, Music Machine, etc. You know, those bands really kicked out the jams, to paraphrase, I might say. And these bands took us screaming onto the dance floor, and in some cases, screaming into the streets. Well, me, anyway. At least that was what my demented remembrances are. We were kind of like lemmings staring at the sun and running for that rock and roll cliff. Ooh, dig me? It's all a go-go, but some are tripping out the front of the pack. So, what band I'm speaking of now is called, they're called the Sons of Adam. So, let's get the party floating and headbutt the speakers with a 45 called Featherfish. Ooh, and it was penned by, get this, no other than Arthur Lee. And I mean the one and only Arthur Lee, who started Love. So, run to the precipice and get ready to leap. I see colors, make the dull in my ears. I do music, I refuse to choose. I don't know where I go. I mean, man, talk about finding a groove. These cats are totally stage left. Woo! Hey, I'm going to show you the cover. This LP, it's a double. It's got a complete breakdown of the band on the inside. Of course, once again, you need a magnifying glass to read the print. There's the Backola. It's on the High Moon label. It covers 64 through 66, and that also has got their surf music on it, which is, and a lot of other studio goodies. But let's talk a little bit about this first. You know, this LP, this one rings out my brain like a dish rag. Woo! Coming from Baltimore, they started life as a surf band. Yeah, must have been from the big East Coast wavers. The guitarist in this band, who started the band in '62, is Randy Holden. Name I'm sure you know. He would later go into a band called The Other Half, and they had an LP out, and I've spoken about them in the past. And one of the many incarnations of Blue Cheer. In fact, I think he was on New and Improved, which is a really good side. He does one side, and there's a guitarist that does the other side, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, they piled onto a bus, or into a bus, I should say, and headed to L.A., and they became regulars on the Strip. And they even found the route to come up to the San Francisco scene up here, and you know, they did a lot of gigging up here. And like I say, this double LP, it's got one full LP, two sides, live at the Avalon in '66. Really good quality. They're doing their stuff. It's happening. Man, you know, the surf stuff, I can take it or leave it. But the 45s they did, excellente. One other little note here, I can't remember the drummer. They had like 3 or 4 drummers. The last drummer they had in early '66 left the band when they broke up, and he went to play with Love, and he appeared on the, what album was it? I'm having a brain fart. Love Is, no, that's Eric Burton and the Animals. Forever Changes. Ha-ha! See, I pulled that one out. Anyway, enough of that little tidbit there. Throbbing away in your direction next is, how shall I say, an ambient artifact from 1971. Now, it was released by a composer named this one's going to be a tough one because I think he's Slobovian, one of my relatives, Nik Rasivic. I think that's Rasivic. Anyway, it's just call him Nick, okay, for short. Now you got to remember that what I'm going to play you is pre-Eno and his perfecting of that musical concept of ambient music years later. In fact, you know, Eno, hey pal, Eno, you know, he was with, he was a musical accompanist in Roxy Music, and then when he left them, he did his own thing for a couple of albums, but then he started to swing into that ambient thing. I'm roaming all over the map on this one. Anyway, that was a good thing for him to do because he perfected that whole thing. Anyway, let's listen to a slicer of this platter, and it's a tune called Eternity. So, let's just try and figure out what's going on here. So. Okay, before you get too ready with your texting and saying, what are you doing? Well, now look at it. Let's just back up a little bit. Let's backpedal. Now, if that ain't something from a 50s sci-fi B-grade movie, then nothing is. You know, I can just see the latex suited characters walking around and hearing this in the background. Let's look at this. This is one that I was able to get in the desert. That's the front. And there is the composer. I guess he drew his own portrait. Yeah, I mean, although this was from my Creighton in the desert, which was, I found that whole period that we were there to be very beneficial to my collezione. This is an oddball, I know it. You know, I did find out it's a big collector's item on Planet X. Whoa! Well, hey, listen, I never promised you a rose garden, but I did allude to giving you a musical education, baby. So this whole record is like pre-anything as far as like Moogs were still big, you know, where they had all these jumper cables and, you know, there's two big panels. Well, you know what Keith Emerson was playing on. Well, that's what this guy was using, plus a bunch of other oscillators and schmoscilators and boscillators and putting his finger in a plug and holding onto a wet glass of water. I mean, you know, this was really whacked. So, but he had a plan and there it is. So, on to more familiar terra firma of the psychedelicized form. Okay. I glommed onto this one down in the Mojave too. I was telling you, I was very fortunate then. And everybody was wheeling and dealing, and which made life for the captain much more financially acceptable. It's a comp. Yeah, thanks, Stoner. Yeah, you got me hooked on them. Now I got them all the time. Anyway, this one is from the Mainstream label, and you're familiar with them. And it's called A Pot of Flowers. Woo! Mainstream, you know, those cats had the good sense to sign gobs of 60s psych bands and rock bands. And this one ain't no different. This one's cool. I'm going to play you a 45 B-side, and it's from an atomic meltdown called Euphoria. Woo, they're a cool band. This toastin' jammin' is named Know Me Tomorrow. Okay, whatever. Dig it now. Well, great oogly moogie. Woo! A psyche and kind of dark too, ain't it? But I'm digging this one. All the way to the end of the grooves, man. I mean, you know, when the needle starts going chick, 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 this one's happening. The whole tune is happening, man. Let's talk about, well, let's first of all, let's show you the record. And that's it on the front. And then just the usual logo with their microphone stand there. That's interesting charcoal rendition of a mic stand. Anyway, there's no info in here except what's on the back, but all the bands are listed on the Ethernet. Anyway, excusez-moi. These, whoa! These future cowpunchers came from LA in 1967. They then migrated to Houston, where they did a few other 45s, and they assembled themselves into a congenial unit. Well, here comes the bad news. They got busted down there, and the band just kind of got whacked, and, you know, well, the man comes down hard on you in Texas, boy. It's a bummer, but some of the surviving members of the band congealed, shall we say, like Jell-O, and they put out a pretty good album in 1969, doing a country rock psych thing, and like I say, the band was called Euphoria, and the album that came out in '69 was called A Gift from Euphoria, and I'm looking for that one. I've been reading a little bit about it, and it's supposedly a pretty good one, so I'm going to give it a whirl if I can find it. This is a good comp, I'd say. It's a very good comp. There's there's flower pop, there's folk rock, and fuzz here, baby. So it's got a little of everything. Nothing too over the top. And there's 3 other bands that are on this particular comp, and they're all from one's from San Francisco, and I think they're called the Wildflowers, and the other 2 are from the San Francisco area, where they weren't they were popular, but they didn't get very specific on the cover. Anyway, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I can't get any more info than that. So next, the next one I'm going to pull out of the hat. Okay, here it comes. It's something I've been trying to get my mitts on forever. I bought this LP some time ago. It was released in '68, and I bought this record from a comp that I had heard it on. I'm going to bend down here and get the comp. This is a really good comp. This is something that was put out when Frank Zappa had his Bizarre label, and I had heard I had heard this guy's cut on this record, and man, that was it for me. I was zapped. There was a bunch of stuff on this record. I need to talk about this just for a minute. We should. This is a really good one. It's got. I got this record for 75 cents, by the way, originally, through the mail. That included shipping. It was an advertisement in Rolling Stone magazine, and, Warner Brothers was, along with Zappa's Bizarre label, they were helping push his product. And some of the people on here is Judy Henske, who was really cool, Tim Buckley, Captain Beefheart and his Magic Band, and they're doing stuff from Trout Mask Replica, and that was at that point in time where they had signed up with Bizarre. And then there's Alice Cooper doing Refrigerator Heaven. There's one for you, Stone. I know you like that. Lord Buckley, he's a whole nother ball of wax. And then of course there's some Frank Zappa on here, meaning that we're talking Willie the Pimp era stuff if it's 1970. And then of course the Girls Together Outrageously, which is GTOs. Okay, it was a real musical conglomabonga ding dong. Anyway, let's just get to the artist who I am speaking about, and his name shall be hereby known as Larry Wildman Fisher. Woohoo! He was discovered in 1967 as a street poet singing his songs for a dime on the Sunset Strip. Woo! Hey, I'm telling you, it don't get no farther out there than Larry. So, get some change, because you might want to buy more than one song, and you just ain't gonna believe what comes out of the speakers next. So, here's something called Merry-Go-Round, and this was his signature song. So, my advice to you is, hold on to your gutshies and get ready for a bumpy ride.
You ready up there? The name of the song is Merry-Go-Round. Come on, let's merry-go, merry-go, merry-go-round. Merry-go, merry-go, merry-go-round. Merry-go, merry-go, merry-go-round. Honey, you can go merry-go-round. It's very easy, just go up and down. Come on, let's merry-go, merry-go, merry-go-round. Merry-go, merry-go, merry-go-round. Merry-go, merry-go, merry-go-round. Everybody's going merry-go-round. Let us go up and down. Come on, let's merry-go, merry-go, merry-go-round. Merry-go, merry-go, merry-go-round. Merry-go, merry-go, merry-go-round.
Yeah. Okay. So call me crazy. Let me reframe that. So I'm crazy. But Larry, whoo-hoo, he's so down to earth. He's an untalented individual that's got a real work of art going on in what of brain he may have. Let's look at the record. That's Larry, and he's holding a butcher knife to his actual mother's throat. Wowzers. There's a picture of him on the back on stage with the mothers. He actually did a tour with them, or played a few jobs with them. The original mothers, I should say. So that would make it like 68. Let's see, how should we... Oh, well, here's the interior. And it's just more of crazy Larry. What can I say? You know, it's not for everybody, okay? It doesn't have to be for everybody. But, baby, it fits my pants. The best part, and here's a real trickster, because a lot of people are into this. Guess what? It's a promo! Woohoo! How lucky did I get? And baby, this guy that I bought it off of, and once again, we're back in the Mojave! Woohoo! I scored a treasure Trovis down there. I got a really good deal on that one. He needed to unload it. I guess he had to buy a ticket out of the country. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about Larry a little bit. Larry was committed twice to a mental institution by his mother, no less, you know. So, woo-wee, happy Mother's Day, Ma! Thanks! The record rambles a lot. He does two full sides of music, and he's got some tunes, and most of them run like about a minute and a half. And but then there's a live section where he's out on the streets of the Sunset Strip, and he's talking to people in the crowd and trying to convince them to give him a dime to play a song. I mean, it gets nuttier and nuttier. Frank is on the album, and so is, I want to say, Ian Underwood. Was it Ian Underwood? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, Frank did some background percussion and a little bit of, well, I think that's all he ever did was background percussion, but it's an add-on, and it worked out good. So anyway, there you have it. So now, before you jump ship on me here, I found that one in the Mojave, but I also found one more, and this one is a cool trip indeed. So it'll clean your palate, and we're going to do a thing that's a power pop act from the northeast of Ohio, and the band is called Blue Ash. Can you say raspberries or even Big Star? This is what this is all about. They formed in Youngstown in 1969. They created a big following by playing all over the tri-state or quad state area, Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, and Lower Slobovia, I don't know. I'm not very good on geometry on your planet. But they were doing between 200 and 300 gigs a year. Whew! So tell me you ain't gonna find somebody to like you. So let's listen to a tuneski called Let There Be Rock. Crank it up and bathe in this power pop banger over here. Tell you, this is a mover and a shaker here, folks. Here's the cover. It's pretty beat. If I had a magic eraser, I would be rubbing the daylights out of it. And there's the back. There we got it. Okay. This LP came out in '73. They'd been touring so darn much and they couldn't get anybody to sign them, and then they did get signed by Mercury. This is on the Mercury label, and yeah, record's called No More, No Less, and it's good. I mean, in the years between '69 and '73, they were just writing tons of tunes, and they had more than enough to put an album together, so they did. You know, I'm not a huge fan of power pop, but these cats fit the bill. I think it's a good all-around record. This came from the wild. You can find this out in the wild. It might be a little bit tricky once in a while, but you never know. Watch for it. It's a good LP, I'd say. You know, I got this one Creighton at a second-hand store. Well, that's it for now. Except, I didn't bring new bumper music today. I forgot, you know. It's from having too many mind melds, and I get a little scattery. So we're once again listening to the Jackie Gleason phenomena that I got last time. You don't need to see it. I love it. It's just another one of Jackie's gems. I found out in the meantime that there's like about 130 of these things out there. I mean, in the series, it's huge. I mean, talk about, you know, the way I feel about Jackie is the way, like the goat feels about his passion for the ventures. I mean, I'm out there digging all the time for these, and like I said, I paid $1 for this one, so that was sweet. Oh, and I will show another picture that we took down in the desert of the thrift shop that we bought this at. This place was incredible. It was just one giant when you walked in the door. There was stuff thrown everywhere. And it was cool though. It was a cool place. It didn't smell too musty in there, but they did have a bottle of oxygen that you could breathe if you walked in the door and you're passing out. Okay, so before I go, one more thing. I wanted to recommend a YouTube channel that is not necessarily tied into the VC community, but you really should dial this guy in. The channel is called Crazy Digital Music. Now, if you have any interest, and you should, in the mothers of invention and Frank Zappa in general, then jump on board the bus, baby. Never disappointing and always a tasty sucker. So go, baby. So, here we go with the words of wisdom. You know, just get out there and tell somebody you love them and mean it. You know, it can't seem to get anything squared away out there. Everything's just getting crazier and crazier. So, for my benefit, try to stay sane. Try to stay safe. Thanks for watching. Love the subs. Love your comments. Take it easy with the turkey coming up. You can always go back for more. Okay? Till the twain shall meet. Remember, we are and will always be one. Peace to you. Happy holidays.